One of the great things about CSV to Post is that we can work with multiple CSV files in a single project. We can either import the data from multiple files into a single database table and then work with that table of data as one data set, or should our project require it, maybe our business requires it for some reason, we can import multiple CSV files in a single project to multiple different database tables. But we can still use those multiple tables to create posts. Alright, so basically the plugin CSV to Post has all the complex functionality going on in there to query multiple database tables and bring the data together to create posts. So whatever we do, the data comes together in some way for visitors to our website. Or we could bring the data together for other uses. It could be to create products and an e-commerce plugin and so on. Because CSV to Post can work with other database tables, it can put data into third-party plugin tables, or it can even use the data from third-party plugin tables. It all might sound a little complex if you're sitting there with one file and your screen doesn't look like my screen at the moment where we have 3 different panels. That's simply because I'm pushing the plugin for demonstration purposes. I'm using 3 different CSV files and I've opted to create individual tables. That option is given to you at the point of adding your data sources to the plugin. Most people will not go with individual tables. They will probably import their CSV files into a single table. Actually, most people will have a single CSV file, but among you that have 2 or more CSV files, you'll probably want to import the data to a single table. But what's important is that the options are there, various options and endless ways. Anything that we can do with data, CSV to Post has to do, because I have some pretty big clients and I've had some pretty demanding requests over the last 4 years. But what I've done in this recent version is I have simplified the import, the point of actually importing data. You don't see the technical side, that's for me to worry about. So I've reduced the interface a little bit and I've made that a little more simple. Now here I am on my project where computers1.csv is going to be imported to wp_computers1.csv. The plugin created a database table named wp_computers1.csv and it named that automatically. It created the table automatically. I'll just go over and show you that table right now. Oh, right, there we go. We're in MySQL Workbench and I'm on the first table. I have 3 tables on my project, as you can see over here in the green box. And I don't have any data. I'll just rerun the query to confirm that. So there is no data in there, and I'll go ahead and import some so you can see the plugin in action. There we go. Data import and finished. A total of 4.csv file rows were processed, including header. That's just to let us know that the plugin is counting the rows in our file correctly. 3 rows were inserted to my database table and 0 were updated. Now the button that I've just clicked can be used for updating. I'm not going to go into that in detail right now because really it is kind of straightforward. Once your file changes, we click submit and the plugin simply reruns all the data. It goes through all the rows again. What I want this video to point out is that CSV to Post does not create posts straight away. So after we import the data, as I've done just now, we will have to use the either post creation over here in the blue box. That's a page that has various options and it will have the ability to begin post creation, or we could use the quick action. I'll just scroll up. Actually I won't, right? The quick action buttons being create post button in the red box, we can use that. Now the quick actions rely on defaults. There will be defaults in the code. There will be those defaults in the code can be overridden by the defaults on the main defaults page. And I'm not going to go into that in detail because there will be videos covering that. But the important thing to know is we can set up some defaults so that the quick action buttons become more useful. And those quick action buttons rely on defaults that are shared among all projects. So we can focus on setting some defaults if we're creating multiple projects. If you're only creating a single project, things like that don't really apply as much, and what you really should do is focus on where this blue box is after you've imported data, go to the post creation and configure that. Alright, because there will be options in there that don't exist, or they don't exist in the same way as on the default screen. Now, that's probably it for most of you. You will be working with a single file. If you do what I've just done, what you've done is basically imported your data into the database like that. Alright, so I imported 3 rows. And you're then ready to go ahead, configure your project creation. You could do your categories if you need to create categories, then go to post creation and so on, and then your meta, etc, etc. If you're working with multiple files, you would need to import more data, and you do that doing the exact same thing. So what I've just done there just now is clicked submit on my second file. It's the same line, a total of 4 CSV file rows were processed, including header. 0 rows were inserted because I had already imported them, as you would have noticed, and 3 were updated. So whatever changes might have happened in the CSV file previously, they will now be applied to the data in the database. And that's how simple the updating is, well, updating the actual data. And then what the plugin does is detects the change in rows in your data, and then reapplies them to posts, and it actually rebuilds the posts. There are options to prevent certain parts of posts being rebuilt and things like that. I'm not going to go into that in this video. What's important to know is this is just part of the import process and not really part of the post creation process. Alright? And that's that. You won't find this approach, as far as I know, there's no other plugins that take this approach. You won't find this approach in other plugins, and that is why companies like CBS News and Ryanair Limited have come to me, and they are still using CSV to post. I'm in contact with some very large companies, especially Ryanair, very regularly, and I'm obviously proud to mention these things because I am quite new in my career. And the reason why is because the plugin takes the smaller steps, allows developers and professionals to monitor the data, prepare the data, and stay away from affecting the live database. Obviously it may not be live, but in some cases we still may not want to import data straight to that, even if it's being processed by Wordpress, the Wordpress core, Wordpress functions, and the posts are, it's all safe. There's no security risk in most cases from importing that way. It just isn't. It can seem messy importing data and creating posts before we're actually 100% happy with how not just the posts look, but 100% happy with the data itself. Obviously, some of you out there might know your data very well, and once you're confident in CSV to post, you may feel that you would like an importer that creates posts straight away. That's fine. I'm not saying go to a competitor either. We can make a plugin that does that. The chances are I will. I have another plugin called Easy CSV Importer. I've considered making that the sort of importer that just creates posts straight away, but my approach on that would be that it imports the data to the database still. It just doesn't require you to do a separate click and separate sort of configuration. So there are options there if you're looking at this video and you might be using the free version, or you've found it on YouTube and you're not quite sure this is for you. Don't hesitate to contact Webtechglobal, contact me, Ryan Bain, and I can sort you out. Alright? Now thank you very much for watching.